Hello and welcome to Quiz Time. I'm Jess, and today I have a quiz taking you back to the 1930s and 40s. So, how do you think you're going to do? Let's find out. Which 1930s novel by John Steinbeck detailed struggles of migrant workers during the Great Depression? Of Mice and Men, The Grapes of Wrath, or East of Eden? The Grapes of Wrath. What was the purpose of the 1940s Victory Gardens grown by American families during World War II? Beautification, food security, or seed preservation? Food security. Which famous singer rose to prominence in the 1940s with hits like I'll Never Smile Again? Frank Sinatra, Bing Crosby, or Perry Como? Frank Sinatra. What nickname was given to Rosie the Riveter, symbolising working women during World War II? The Factory Lady, the Working Rosie, or the We Can Do It Girl? The We Can Do It Girl. Which popular 1930s toy became a household favourite, featuring a yo-yo style return system? Slinky, yo-yo, or paddle ball? The yo-yo. No trick questions. Which 1944 invasion, codenamed Operation Overlord, marked a turning point in World War II? Battle of Normandy, Battle of the Bulge, or Battle of Britain? Battle of Normandy. Who was the British Prime Minister who led the country to victory during World War II? Clement Attlee, Winston Churchill, or Neville Chamberlain? Winston Churchill. What iconic 1930s musical introduced the song Over the Rainbow to audiences worldwide? The Wizard of Oz, Showboat, or Babes in Arms? The Wizard of Oz. Which pioneering 1940s pen allowed people to write upside down without leaks? Ballpoint pen, fountain pen, or rollerball pen? Ballpoint pen. Which influential 1930s American singer was nicknamed Lady Day by her peers? Ella Fitzgerald, Billie Holiday, or Lena Horne? Billie Holiday. Which famous movie actress, often called America's Sweetheart, starred in Rebecca and Suspicion in the 1940s? Joan Fontaine, Katharine Hepburn, or Judy Garland? Joan Fontaine. What snack food was introduced in the late 1930s and became iconic at American baseball games? Popcorn, Cracker Jack, or peanuts? Cracker Jack. Which major US landmark was completed in 1937, connecting San Francisco to Marin County? Brooklyn Bridge, Golden Gate Bridge, or Hoover Dam Bridge? The Golden Gate Bridge. Which early TV show, debuting in 1949, featured a cowboy who never removed his hat, even indoors? The Lone Ranger, Hopalong Cassidy, or Roy Rogers Show? Hopalong Cassidy. Which 1938 discovery by German chemists revolutionized medicine and led to the widespread use of antibiotics, penicillin, sulfur drugs, or streptomycin? Penicillin. What 1945 discovery in New Mexico marked the world's first test of a nuclear weapon? Manhattan Blast, Trinity Test, or Los Alamos Explosion? Trinity Test. What type of ration book was issued during World War II to control American civilian consumption? Green Stamp Book, War Ration Book, or Food Coupon Book? War Ration Book. Which 1936 novel by Margaret Mitchell was adapted into an epic film in the late 1930s? Gone with the Wind, Rebecca, or Wuthering Heights? It was Gone with the Wind. Which 1942 Disney film featured a deer as its main character and was based on a book by Felix Salten? Dumbo, Bambi, or Fantasia? That's Bambi. What key event occurred on December the 7th, 1941, described by President Roosevelt as a date which will live in infamy? D-Day landing, Pearl Harbor attack, or Hiroshima bombing? Pearl Harbor attack. Which popular jazz musician was nicknamed Satchmo and gained fame in the 1930s and 40s? Duke Ellington, Louis Armstrong, or Count Basie? Louis Armstrong. Which brand introduced the first mass-produced electric washing machine in the late 1930s? General Electric, Whirlpool, or Maytag? Maytag. Which US car company introduced the first fully automatic transmission in the early 1940s? Ford, General Motors, or Chrysler? That was General Motors. Which wartime posters urged women to buy war bonds and participate in the home front effort? Rosie the Riveter, Uncle Sam, or Victory Bonds? Rosie the Riveter. Which innovative World War II aircraft helped secure victory in the Battle of Britain? Spitfire, B-29 bomber, or Messerschmitt? Spitfire. Which popular 1930s radio show often ended with the phrase, "Good night, Mr. Calabash, wherever you are"? Burns and Allen, The Jack Benny Program, or Jimmy Durant Show? The Jack Benny Program. What was the name of the famous 1940s restaurant and nightclub in Harlem known for its jazz performances? Apollo Theatre, Cotton Club, or Savoy Ballroom? Cotton Club. Which cereal mascot debuted in 1940 as a cheerful tiger promoting a popular breakfast product? Tony the Tiger, Toucan Sam, or Snap, Crackle and Pop? It's Tony the Tiger. What key technology allowed Franklin Roosevelt's fireside chat to reach American homes? Radio, telegraph, or phonograph? The radio. Which pivotal 1945 meeting between Allied leaders outlined plans for post-war Europe? Yalta Conference, Potsdam Conference, or Tehran Conference? It was the Yalta Conference. Which women's baseball league was formed during World War II and later inspired a famous movie? Women's Major League, Victory Baseball League, or All-American Girls Professional Baseball League? All-American Girls Professional Baseball League. Which 1939 event marked the beginning of World War II in Europe? German invasion of Poland, Pearl Harbor attack, or fall of France? German invasion of Poland. Which 1940s actor became synonymous with war dramas and starred in Sergeant York and High Noon? Gary Cooper, John Wayne, or Humphrey Bogart? Gary Cooper. What was the name of the code-breaking machine used by British cryptographers during World War II? Enigma, Bletchley, or Ultra? It was Enigma. What government campaign in the 1940s encouraged Americans to grow food at home during the war? Liberty Gardens, Victory Gardens, or Freedom Farms? Victory Gardens. What Hollywood actor, later a president, starred in Knute Rock All-American in 1940? Ronald Reagan, Jimmy Stewart, or Clark Gable? Ronald Reagan was an actor before president. Which type of swing music became a sensation in the 1940s, featuring big bands like Glenn Miller's? Bebop, bebop, boogie woogie, or swing jazz? Swing jazz. What major 1945 event was celebrated with mass street parades and parties across the US and Britain? VE Day, D-Day, or Armistice Day? VE Day, Victory in Europe Day. Which car manufacturer produced the first Jeep for military use during World War II? Ford, Willys Overland, or General Motors? Willys Overland. What 1930s Hollywood studio became synonymous with animated films and was founded by two visionary brothers? Warner Brothers, Walt Disney Studios, or MGM Animation? Walt Disney Studios. Which wartime fabric shortage led to the rise of shorter skirts and simpler styles in the 1940s? Silk, wool, or nylon? Nylon. Which scientist theory used to develop the atomic bomb during Manhattan Project? Albert Einstein, J. Robert Oppenheimer, or Enrico Fermi? J. Robert Oppenheimer. Which iconic 1940s fashion accessory symbolized women's strength during the war? Hairscarves, victory rolls, or red lipstick? hairscarves? Which 1940s political figure became the first female member of a US presidential cabinet? Frances Perkins, Eleanor Roosevelt, or Margaret Chase Smith? Frances Perkins. Which World War II general famously declared, "I shall return," after leaving the Philippines? Dwight D. Eisenhower, Douglas MacArthur, or George Patton? Douglas MacArthur. Which US First Lady redefined the role of engaging in politics and social activism during the 1930s? Eleanor Roosevelt, Bess Truman, or Mamie Eisenhower? Eleanor Roosevelt. What innovative 1930s cartoon introduced Mickey Mouse's voice for the first time? Fantasia, Steamboat Willie, or the band concert? The band concert. Which best-selling 1940s novel was banned in some US states for its frank depiction of racism? To Kill a Mockingbird, Native Son, or The Heart is a Lonely Hunter? Native Son. What significant event began on 7th of December 1941 following a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor by which country? Germany, Japan, or Italy? Japan made the surprise attack. Which American icon starred in Casablanca and is remembered for saying, "Here's a looking at you, kid"? Humphrey Bogart, Clark Gable, or Cary Grant? Humphrey Bogart. During the 1940s, what rationed commodity led families to plant victory gardens to supplement their food supplies? Sugar, meat, or vegetables? Vegetables. Which aviation pioneer disappeared over the Pacific in 1937, leaving an enduring mystery about their fate behind? Howard Hughes, Charles Lindbergh, or Amelia Earhart? Amelia Earhart. Which iconic comic strip character debuted in 1938, representing a bold new era of American superheroes? Batman, Superman, or Captain America? Superman. What 1940s dessert became popular as it used minimal ingredients like sugar and butter due to wartime rationing? Jell-O mold, upside down cake, or depression cake? Depression cake. Which major 1940s treaty laid the foundation for NATO, focusing on collective defence against potential threats? Treaty of Versailles, North Atlantic Treaty, or Warsaw Pact? North Atlantic Treaty. Which memorable 1940s song by Glenn Miller became an anthem for troops, featuring haunting saxophone melody? Moonlight Serenade, In the Mood, or Chattanooga Choo Choo? Moonlight Serenade. Which 1945 world-changing development was tested in New Mexico under the codename Trinity? The first jet engine, the atomic bomb, or radar technology? The atomic bomb. What revolutionary 1930s animated feature made Walt Disney an international sensation upon its release? Pinocchio, Fantasia or Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs? Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. What piece of wartime propaganda encouraged Americans to save fuel with the phrase, "When you ride alone, you ride with Uncle Sam, Hitler, or Mussolini"? Hitler. What 1939 World Fair introduced innovations like television and futuristic model of America known as Futurama? New York World's Fair, Chicago Exposition, or San Francisco Fair? New York World's Fair. Which 1940s singer became a legend for songs like White Christmas and Swinging on a Star? Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra, or Nat King Cole? Bing Crosby. What was the name of the US's military African-American fighter pilot group during World War II? Tuskegee Airmen, Red Tails, or Harlem Flyers? Tuskegee Airmen. Which 1940s baseball player was the first to break Major League Baseball's racial barrier with the Brooklyn Dodgers? Jackie Robinson, Hank Aaron, or Satchel Paige? Jackie Robinson. What popular form of entertainment combining movie screenings and outdoor fun rose in popularity during the 1940s? Carnivals, drive-in theatres, or bowling alleys? Drive-in theatres. Which 1940s kitchen innovation became widespread, revolutionising food storage with new durability and design? Tupperware, aluminium foil, or freezer bags? Tupperware. What famous 1940s speech began with "We shall fight on the beaches" and became a rally cry for the Allies? Winston Churchill's speech, Franklin Roosevelt's speech, or Charles de Gaulle's address? Winston Churchill's speech. What 1940s cartoon debuted featuring determined Wabbit, who famously asked, "What's up, Doc?" Donald Duck, Bugs Bunny, or Porky Pig? Bugs Bunny. What groundbreaking 1947 sound barrier breaking flight was piloted by Chuck Yeager in a rocket-powered aircraft? Bell X-1, Boeing 707, or Douglas DC-3? Bell X-1. Which 1930s dance craze featured acrobatics and high-energy moves, becoming a hit swing music? In clubs, Charleston, the Lindy Hop, or the Jitterbug? The Lindy Hop. Which 1940s candy bar, still popular today, was promoted as a meal in itself due to its calorie density? Mars Bar, Milky Way, or Snickers? Snickers. Which 1930s superhero known as the Caped Crusader made his comic debut, solving crimes in Gotham? Superman, Batman, or The Flash? That's Batman. Which 1940s clothing style associated with victory and thrift used less fabric to align with wartime rationing efforts? Zoot suit, utility fashion, or Dior's new look? Utility fashion. Which 1936 Olympic athlete embarrassed the Nazi regime by winning 4 gold medals in track and field? Jesse Owens, Carl Lewis, or Jim Thorpe? Jesse Owens. Which 1940s animated Disney film taught audiences life lessons with the phrase, "Always let your conscience be your guide"? Bambi, Pinocchio, or Dumbo? That was Pinocchio. What was the purpose of the 1940s government duck and cover campaign promoted in schools during the Cold War? Fire drills, nuclear attack preparedness, or earthquake response? Nuclear attack preparedness. What 1930s invention brought music into every home, revolutionizing how people listened to news and entertainment? Radio, vinyl records, or television? Radio. What was the programme's name where Allied pilots ferried supplies to West Berlin during the 1948-49 blockade? Operation Overlord, Berlin Airlift, or Marshall Plan? Berlin Airlift. Which 1940s actress gained fame as a femme fatale in noir films such as Double Indemnity? Rita Hayworth, Barbara Steinweg, or Lauren Bacall? Barbara Stanwyck. What early 1940s invention replaced ice boxes in most American homes, revolutionizing food storage? Freezers, refrigerators, or microwaves? Refrigerators. What was the purpose of the Victory in Europe Day, VE Day, celebrations held on May 8, 1945? End of World War II in the Pacific, Nazi Germany surrender, or start of the United Nations Charter? Nazi Germany's surrender. Which 1940s movie about a brave Scottish freedom fighter won the Oscar for Best Picture in 1945? The Best Years of Our Lives, Henry V, or Braveheart? Henry V. What famous World War II general uttered the phrase, "Old soldiers never die, they just fade away," in his farewell address? George Patton, Douglas MacArthur, or Dwight Eisenhower? Douglas MacArthur. Which 1930s car, advertised as affordable for every American, was famously associated with Henry Ford's mass production? Model T, Model A, or Ford V8? Model T. Which 1940s American author wrote The Grapes of Wrath, capturing the struggles of Dust Bowl migrants? F. Scott Fitzgerald, John Steinbeck, or Ernest Hemingway? John Steinbeck. Which 1945 event marked the official end of World War II, with the formal surrender of Japan aboard a US battleship? Signing at Versailles, Potsdam Agreement, or surrender on the USS Missouri? Surrender on the USS Missouri. What children's television character debuted in 1947, becoming one of the first to use puppetry in broadcast entertainment? Howdy Doody, Kermit the Frog, or Bozo the Clown? Howdy Doody. Which 1940s musical introduced the song Some Enchanted Evening, captivating audiences worldwide? South Pacific, Carousel, or Oklahoma? South Pacific. What popular 1930s movie genre, often featuring gangsters and detectives, inspired iconic characters like Sam Spade? Western, film noir, or screwball comedy? Film noir. Which iconic 1940s poster depicted Rosie the Riveter as a strong, patriotic factory worker? We Can Do It, Keep Calm and Carry On, or The Victory Is Ours? We Can Do It. What landmark 1944 legislation helped returning US veterans afford education and housing? Social Security Act, GI Bill, or Veterans Assistance Act? GI Bill. What popular American show tune written by Irving Berlin became a patriotic anthem during World War II? God Bless America, Over There, or This Land Is Your Land? God Bless America. Which 1940s American comedian starred in films such as Road to Morocco alongside Bing Crosby? Bob Hope, Groucho Marx, or Abbott? Bob Hope. What 1940s film about a British governess in Siam featured a memorable waltz scene? The King and I, Anna and the King, or A Passage to India? The King and I. What 1938 radio broadcast by Orson Welles caused widespread panic due to its realistic invasion storyline? War of the Worlds, Invasion from Mars, or The Shadow? War of the Worlds. Which 1939 innovation allowed colour films like The Wizard of Oz to dazzle audiences for the first time? Technicolor, Vivid Colour, or Cinechromatic Process? Technicolor. Which 1930s invention used in theatres brought synchronized sound to movies for the first time? Talkies, phonofilm, or cinemascope? Talkies. Which 1940s invention improved audio playback and revolutionized the music recording industry? Vinyl records, cassette tapes, or 8-track tapes? Vinyl records. Which popular 1940s children's book series began with a curious monkey and his friend in a yellow hat? Paddington Bear, Curious George, or The Little Engine That Could? Curious George. What 1940s ice cream novelty became famous for combining a chocolate shell with a vanilla filling? Drumstick, Eskimo pie, or Klondike bar? Eskimo pie. And your last one. Which World War II military strategy involved island hopping through the Pacific targeting Japanese-held territories? Operation Overlord, Island Campaign, or leapfrogging? It was a leapfrogging. Drop your score in the comments below and of course like and subscribe so you get notified every time we post a new quiz, and join us next time on Quiz Time.